Hello and welcome to Good Game, the show for gamers, by gamers. I'm Junglist.
And I'm Bajo, and this week we tackle a game of biblical proportions, the PS2's God of War 2. We also look at the sequel to Recon Advanced Warfighter 2. And in our first Ultimate Showdown of 2007, we pit Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War against Halo's Master Chief.
All that and more on Good Game, but first, here's gamer news.
The growth in in-game advertising shows no sign of slowing, with internet giant Google confirming they have acquired the San Francisco-based company Adscape Media. And IGA Worldwide have announced they now have 50 titles that will carry in-game ads, and that more than 10 million players have been exposed to them.
Screen Digest, a media research company, reports that massively multiplayer online role-playing games have now generated more than $1 billion. Nearly half of that being attributed to Blizzard's World of Warcraft. RuneScape is its closest competitor. The report predicts the continued growth of the MMO sector with more than 10 million subscribers by the end of the decade, with Europe being the fastest growing region.
And finally, Electronic Arts have announced Boogie, a brand new game for the Wii in which players can dance and sing and star in their own music videos. The game will be developed by EA's Montreal studio. Expect a Boogie this year. And more on Wii news, Nintendo have announced that the final version of their internet channel has again been pushed back till later this month.
Good game.
Okay, gamers, here's the retro game for this week.
Shred is dominating the race.
Here's a clue. It rocked! Answer at the end of the show.
Good game. Now at the target zone. Prepare for insertion.
Kill confirmed. Reloading.
Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter was a diamond in the rough of early 360 games. It had a cover system way before Gears of War and great multiplayer, but it came out before Good Game. Now that number 2 is here, we're all over it. Let's check it out. This one picks up pretty much right where the last one left off. We've got a naughty group of Mexicans trying to invade Texas. As some of you may know, I spent some of my early years in Texas, so I'm not about to let that happen. In terms of gameplay, it's still a very refined, tactical, squad-based combat game. But there are a few new things, such as if you want to revive teammates, you need to have a medic on your team now.
It's gonna be a cinch to patch you up, sir.
Also, you've got the ability to change your view to any of your teammates or your tactical support, such as the tanks or the mule or the radar drone up top. This can be done just by pressing this button. Most of the game is set in urban and desert areas, and the tactical map is still there, which is good. Some of the voice acting borders a bit on the cheesy side, but it's not too big a deal.
Missile RPG! Hostile fire! Going invasive!
It's been a year since the last one, and you can see a graphical improvement. Already it's using more hardware power on the 360. A lot of effort has been spent on big events and a lot of detail and graphical explosions. This is what happens when you take control of the plane.
More support as a target sighted. Waiting for your goal, Brown.
Oh! Everything's shot.
Yeah, Mitchell, damn good soldiering. Move to your extraction point. It's set in the parking lot.
Overall, GRAW 1 was a solid game to own on the 360, and GRAW 2 is living up to the standard Tom Clancy games set everywhere.
You need to keep up the pressure! Fire!
Bajo, you've had to play this game as well. What do you think?
You know, you can never have too many explosions in a game, and there's heaps of them in GRAW 2. The lighting is much better in this one too, especially the dynamic lighting at night. It looks really, really cool. But I did find the control system just a little bit clumsy, you know?
Really? I'd disagree with that, actually. I mean, I keep on comparing it to Gears. The Gears control system is more intuitive, but say, for example, the cover system in GRAW is much better, and it's been out for a lot longer as well. Plus, I think the foot soldiering was broken up a lot better with things like going up in the chopper.
I just kept falling over and accidentally proning when I was trying to run away.
Someone tried to tie your shoelaces together.
Yeah,
or
it felt
something.
like I was tired the whole time. Just
Serves you right for running, chicken.
Speaking of chickens, what do you give it?
8.5 rubber chickens out of 10 from me. It's typical high-quality Clancy.
I'm going with 8 chickens.
Hey guys, a common question that comes up on the forums time and time again is how to get a better frame rate out of your game. The first thing to do is to make sure that all of the drivers on your computer are up to date. This is really important. The next step is to turn off any special lighting effects like HDR, then turn down anything like AA or AF. If you still aren't getting the frame rate that you'd like, you can try turning down the distance draw settings if the game has them, as well as any detail settings for the textures. People with LCD screens should be using the full resolution that their screen can handle, but if you've got a CRT, you can safely turn the resolution down without sacrificing any detail. Good gaming, guys.
And this week's review winner is...
Now, Ricky Ponting may be one of the best cricketers in the world, but when Good Game heard he was making his own cricket game, we thought, is this guy gonna play his own game? So naturally, we challenged him to a Ruffle Cup, and he's accepted. So right now, I'm sneaking in to get a bit of prac. You're in our world now, punter.
I got this. I think you're going down, punter. See that? I don't even know how many points that is, but I know I'm gonna win.
Oh, that's close.
He got what, 11 points? Boom! What's that, a home run? Ah, you can't fumble. Not against Junglist. Here is Ricky Ponting in game. I will analyze his technique. It's clear right now, if you use Ricky Ponting in the game, you've got a good chance of winning. Well, Ricky Ponting, we're here today to play for the Ruffle Cup. Welcome to Good Game. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, yeah.
It's
Looking
pretty,
forward to the challenge.
Yeah, it's a bit bigger than the Ashes. What do you think?
It's a lot bigger, yeah. It probably travels a lot safer as well, I think, that one.
That's it.
Should be able to keep that one here in Australia with a bit of luck.
Let's get our game on, eh?
Let's go.
Heads.
Heads. And it's...
it's heads.
That's a head.
I'm gonna have to field.
Good on you. I'll have a bat.
Let's do
We'll
it.
see how we go, huh?
Junglist playing as England. Ricky Ponting obviously opting to play his own team. So we're gonna see if we can rewrite history here and get England to actually beat Australia.
Let's hope not.
And that's not a good start for me.
Well,
This is my best bowler too. In the mind of the batsman, does it replicate what's going through your head very well?
But with the game here, at least you know where the bowler's trying to bowl. I wish I knew that when I was out in the middle in a real game.
It demands some quick reactions,
There we
this
go.
game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's probably especially for the bowling and fielding team. Bowl it and then get your fielders to move and run around and pick it up and decide what end you want to throw the ball. And
That's it. If the ball's heading your way, you got a split second to go ba-da, and then which end you got to throw it to. And how much have you had to do with the actual development of the game?
I've sort of been consulted a lot, actually. And I guess it's important for the makers and to have someone that knows the finer points of the game to be able to keep improving it. You know, they've even added a couple of my trademark shots into my batting only in this game, and some of the field changes. You know, having the slips being manual fielders now, being able to catch the ball rather than just automatically happening like it was before. Slips fielding in the actual game of cricket is something that on television actually probably looks quite simple, but in real life it is very difficult, and you have it's just a split second to catch the ball, and that's exactly what they've captured here. It actually gets the players a lot more involved in the game, but also a lot more involved in the skills of the game as well, which is good.
All right, it's time for some
It's
ass whipping.
time for Panasar to go down. Whoa, that's could be 6. Australia 1 for 40 off 2.1 overs. We're going pretty well.
Ricky's going pretty well. I think you got a bit of an unfair advantage here, Ricky, playing yourself.
I can't get on strike at the moment, though.
Was it?
No,
Oh,
I
no,
made it.
you got it.
I made it. I've dived from the ground and made it.
Close, though. It's close. All right, Ricky, congratulations, man. You won the Ruffle Cup.
Thanks, mate.
How do you feel?
It was a tough contest, but Yeah, Australia come out on top of England once again, which was great.
A solid achievement. Congratulations.
Thanks very much, mate. It was good fun.
I'll see you later.
Good on you.
It's showdown time. Each week here on Good Game, we're going to be pitting two gaming elements versus each other in the ultimate showdown.
And the winner will be determined by you on the Good Game forums.
What's the best boss fight? What's the best location? Who would win in a fight with blank versus blank? These are the things you will decide.
Let's kick it off the first week with Marcus Phoenix versus Master Chief. Both fight aliens invading Earth. Both have sexy women whispering info in their ear. Both are men of few words. Go.
Marcus, easy.
Why?
Chainsaw.
Power sword.
Grenade tagging.
Plasma grenades.
Regenning health.
Regenning shields.
Well, look, Deathclaim from the forum says Marcus Phoenix would chainsaw him easy. Plus, Phoenix is a badass.
Link from the forums reckons Master Chief would teabag him. Plus, Master Chief is a genetically engineered badass.
Obviously, we can't solve this with intelligent conversation, so let's go to
The simulator!
one more thing, Joe. Curb stomp.
Both fighters duck out of cover to fire before retreating quickly.
Upon getting injured, they both wait until their health or shield is ready again, resulting in a 24-hour fight. Master Chief gets bored and brings out the power sword, but realizes Microsoft has loaded Vista into his helmet and it crashes. Oh no!
Marcus spots the opportunity, whips out the Hammer of Dawn, and attempts to remind the Master Chief while Gears of War overtook Halo 2 on Xbox Live.
But wait, it's cloudy! Freshly formatted with Linux, Master Chief pounces with a plasma pistol and a battle rifle.
Oh no, not the noob combo.
Master Chief wins.
More Ultimate Showdown next week, where we try to decide who's the best boss.
You know, it's going to be pretty tough, Jung. There's so many bosses and so many platforms and so many fights, but we want you to help us decide.
Get on the forums and vote.
Boom! Headshot.
Hey man, what you playing?
Street Fighter 2 on the Wii. Virtual Console rules. I can play all my old classic games from video game days gone by, and I get to pay for them all over again. It's a sweet deal.
Wait, if you're playing Street Fighter, then why did you just yell boom headshot?
I did? Man, it's like a reflex now. I think I have some sort of geek Tourette's. I mean, last night, my girl, she calls me up and she's all, "Hey baby, where are you? I want to snuggle." And I'm all like, "I'm in your base, killing your dudes."
All your base belong to her.
That's enough.
LOL, internet.
Quit it.
But I gotta have more cowbell.
I swear to Reggie, if the next thing you do is start singing Numa Numa and dancing around like some disfigured lemur, I'm going to uninstall World of Warcraft from the PC and microwave the install disk.
I'm done.
There's a good Warcrack addict. So, you feeling up to having your butt handed to you in a few rounds of Wii Sports?
You ought to be careful when playing Wii Sports. I mean, I've been reading online about all these folk destroying their gear with the Wii remote, busted TVs, PDAs, Windows. It's only a matter of time before someone's Doberman loses an eye.
What, do you get your news feed from archive.org? Nobody's talking about that anymore.
Oh, really?
Careful with that, or WoW goes nuclear.
Sorry.
Anyway, anyone not bright enough to consider using their fantabulous opposable thumbs and actually gripping this small, light, ergonomically designed hand device instead of carelessly flinging it across the room with enough force to not only snap the wrist strap but magic missile its way through a TV screen probably shouldn't be left alone with anything sharper than the edge of a golf ball lest they accidentally gouge their eyes out while trying to go potty.
Well, okay, but what about those people hurting themselves while still maintaining a vice-like grip? I mean, I've seen people who've smashed their hands through glass light fittings, table lamps.
And this is after they sit through that massive, unmissable, click a button to move on and play warning screen about clearing space around you free of all obstacles. Yeah, another group of meat stacks that really should be under constant supervision. I find myself wondering how they made it out of their homes to go buy a Nintendo Wii in the first place. I mean, those doorknobs are tricky. You have to twist and push at the same time.
You have a lot of rage in you, you know that?
We playing or what? You suck the least at tennis, so we'll do that first, just to give you a fighting chance.
Yeah, you talk big, but I've been practicing at night while you're in your room huddled around the glow of your screen trying to teach tricks to Luigi the Wonder Dog in Sims 2.
I serve first. Boom, headshot.
Try a little top spin.
Ooh, top spin, easy.
15
Team Love.
Boom, headshot.
La 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 la, so you think you can't game.
Hi, Aya here again. This week we're going to have a look at Gears of War, in particular how to take down the last boss, General Ram. Now if you haven't played up to this point in the game, now's your chance to look away. You start in a little alcove surrounded by a few weapons and ammo. The 3 weapons that you do need are frag grenades, a torque bow, and a sniper rifle. So pick these up and grab as much ammo as you can. As soon as you enter the door, a cutscene will play, and once the cutscene finishes, the first thing you need to do is take cover behind the first barrier that you see. General Ram's at the other side of the train, and he's surrounded by a shield of krill. What you need to do is pull out your torque bow, pop up from behind your cover, and take a shot at him. As soon as the shot explodes, the shield of krill will disperse, allowing you to pull out your sniper rifle and take aim at his head. Keep on shooting him in his head until the shield comes back, in which case, you pull out your torque bow and do it all over again. If you run out of torque bow ammo, use your frag grenades, they work just as well. Sometimes General Ram will also take a walk towards you, in which case what you need to do is pop up from your barrier and run down the middle of the train, staying in the light to avoid the krill, until you find the barrier far enough away, and then you can do it all again. Here's this week's challenge. Sure, that method works on all the difficulty levels, but if you're feeling a bit cocky, grab a mate and start a co-op game. What you need to do instead, rather than using a torque bow and a sniper rifle, is try and take down General Ram by frag tagging him. And if you don't know what frag tagging is, basically you run up to him, get a frag grenade, stick it to his back, and then run the hell away before it blows you up too. Give it a go and let me know how you do on the forums. Until next week, Aya out.
Fight 3. Ready? Go!
I'm here with Mike Abdow. He's an Australian Virtua Fighter champion. How you doing, Mike?
Not too bad.
Good to have you. Tell us, how long have you been playing Virtua Fighter for?
Pretty much since the very beginning, Virtua Fighter 1. It was released in Sydney arcades just over maybe 10 years ago now, so it's quite a long time. I've had opportunities to meet Virtua Fighter players from around the world, partake in tournaments in Japan, in the US, and I've had pretty good results as well, so kind of put Australia on the map for Virtua Fighter.
So we're here checking out Virtua Fighter 5. How does it stack up versus number 4?
Oh, it's amazing. Just the eye candy alone, the improved graphics, the high res display, it's just brilliant. Words can't begin to describe just how great this game looks, just on the surface level. After having played it, I'm even more excited now because I truly feel that this game has a lot to offer. There are new elements to the system which are very subtle on the surface, but once you start to explore them, I think they'll really open up the game into new levels of depth. Virtua Fighter is a 3D fighter, and I think the developers have tried to explore the 3D aspect a bit more in 5. They've added more lateral movement in the foreground and into the background, and you can tag onto that attacks. So these are called offensive moves. So that's a new feature to the system in Virtua Fighter 5, and that opens up a whole new level of gameplay just in the guessing games and on the basic system that all the Virtua Fighter series have been based on. Unfortunately, there are a few downsides especially to the home console versions of Virtua Fighter 5. I think the main thing a lot of people complain about is the lack of online features. Even if it doesn't include online playing, just the ability to maybe connect to a server and download or share replays, things like that, or exchange customizations. The game does not support that, so that's a bit of a letdown. Other modes such as really in-depth training modes and just more facilities for you to learn the game, inbuilt tutorials, combo practice. A lot of those things are missing from this port. They used to be present in previous ports.
Well, I guess it is yet to be seen whether they'll have that sort of downloadable content.
Yeah, time will tell, I suppose.
How would you say it rates up versus other sort of fighting games? Is it more strategic, intellectual?
I think it is. I think Virtua Fighter is touted as a game that's quite difficult to get into. It has a very steep learning curve. But I think with gamers these days who are more analytical and would like to think and explore a game, I think Virtua Fighter is really for them. It offers a lot of opportunity for someone to really think about a game.
Do you think it has much chance of taking off in Australia again?
I'm actually very excited about the home console releases, because in the past Virtua Fighter has pretty much been limited to arcade release. And as many people know, arcades are kind of dying a slow death. But with the console releases, especially on PlayStation 3 and later on in the year Xbox 360, I think Virtua Fighter for the first time will have such a great coverage in terms of this is the gaming market, and I'm quietly confident that it'll be the flagship fighter on both those consoles, and if they do well, I think the game will do well as well.
All right, so show me your favorite move in this one.
Well, my favorite character in the game is Kage, he's the ninja. My favorite move with him, in the English-speaking world, it's known as the Dragon Punch combo. A Dragon Punch is a pretty famous move in many fighting games, and Virtua Fighter has one as well. It's basically a 4-hit series. So you do a Dragon Punch motion with punch kick.
Yeah.
So I'll just do that on its own. And then the follow-up moves are punch, punch, kick after that. So it takes a lot of practice, but once you get the hang of it and you can do it consistently, you soon be feared in your group of friends.
All right, man, let's have a go. Let's do this thing.
Let's do this.
Good game. I am the god of war. None shall defy me.
God of War 2 picks right up where number 1 left off. The story continues leading you, Kratos, through a whole series of brutal and violent adventures, slashing your way through giant enemies and epic battles.
Essentially a straightforward beat-em-up, God of War 2 is a fairly linear button-mashing platformer, but it retains all the fun and the gore from the original game, and on a larger scale, but slightly more refined.
Right from the get-go, things get insane. Your first fight is with the Colossus, which spans over different areas and mini-games before you can smite him! This gives you a good idea what the rest of the game is going to be like. Huge.
I will make you suffer!
Everything you battle against, around, and on is just huge in the size of it, and it's the sheer scale of it that makes it so much fun to try and take down.
Kratos starts off with a standard 2 swords on chain, and it's the most versatile and efficient weapon in the game. As you progress, you slowly begin to unlock new powers and combos. These have very little effect in the early game, but as you move into the harder difficulty settings, you'll be forced to master them. But more importantly, they look tight.
God of War 2 is based heavily on ancient Greek mythology of gods and titans. And it's kind of like the super best friends of Greek mythology got together and they all hate you. I really got myself into the story, and you start rooting for Kratos, and you really enjoy the well-made cutscenes, and the voice acting's top-notch, and the music is godlike.
The standard gameplay is broken up by different kinds of bosses that require different mini-games and puzzles to complete, such as visually stunning mid-air flaming horse battles. However, there aren't many of them, and God of War 2 doesn't really offer much new to the genre that wasn't already introduced in number 1.
The camera switching can be a little bit dodgy at times, especially if you're trying to balance on a chain or along a small plank and the camera swings around and you find yourself falling off and walking back the way you came, but it's not really that big a deal, you know, but it is there.
Well, all in all, it might be one of the last great PS2 games, but the inventive variations on platform gameplay ensure that even though it's not as groundbreaking as God of War 1, it's still a hell of a lot of fun to play. I'm giving it 9 out of 10 rubber chickens, but I should also note that if you see God of War 1 in the bargain bin, get that as well. It's old, but still fun in biblical proportions. How about you?
You know, repeatedly slamming a demigod's head into a giant stone door while dragging an island on massive chains through the ocean while riding 4 large stone horses has never been so much fun. It's the sheer size and scale of the game that I really liked, and the flow of the battle never really stops, and you get lots of surprise battles, and the whole chaotic atmosphere and the seamless loading, it really keeps it going, and it was almost a 9 for me, but I gave it 8.5.
Expect God of War 2 at the beginning of May.
Good game.
Did you guess the retro game for this week? It was Rock and Roll Racing on the Sega Mega Drive.
Released in 1993 by Interplay, Rock and Roll Racing was famous for having pumping 16-bit rock and roll tracks such as Born to be Wild and Bad to the Bone.
Well, that's it for you lot this week.
Next week is unmissable. We've got the development team behind MotorStorm.
Well, MotorStorm is a more fun arcade product. Underneath the bonnet, it is a pure simulation.
Plus another ultimate showdown and more tech help from the doc. Junglist out.
Bajo out.